148,000 jobs added by the U.S. economy in the month of September. The unemployment rate falls to 5.9%.
The unemployment rate's going down? That's great, right? Well, it would be if it meant actual unemployment was going down. Sadly, it's not that simple. There are a lot of reasons besides a tough job market that someone wouldn't be in the labor force. They're retired or in school, they work at home. So a 5% unemployment rate isn't supposed to mean 95% of Americans have jobs. It's supposed to mean 5% of Americans can and want to work, but can't find a job. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has narrowed the definition to those without a job that have actively sought one within the last month. While it's great that we're not counting those who don't want a job as unemployed, this method can still skew the results. If the labor market's bad enough, people can't even find jobs to apply for. Since we're only counting people who've been applying, the more people who give up, the better the unemployment rate appears to be. While it's impossible to get an exact count, trends in the labor force participation rate, which is the percentage of Americans that are either employed or actively looking for a job, can give us an idea of the extent of the problem. To figure out the official unemployment rate, the Bureau of Labor Statistics takes the unemployment to population ratio over the labor force participation rate, which give us the employment rate, and then subtracts it from 100%. Let's look at some real numbers. In September of 2014, the employment to population ratio was 59%, meaning 59% of all Americans had jobs. The labor force participation rate that month was 62.7%. That equals an employment rate of about 94.1%, giving us an official unemployment rate of about 5.9%, which, sadly, isn't too bad these days. But if we look at what happened to the labor force participation rate from January of 2009 to September of 2014, we get a different story. Since January 2009, the number of Americans working or actively looking for work fell 3%. If those 3% had not stopped looking for work and had continued to be unable to find it, the unemployment rate would be much higher, 10.2%. While a few of these labor force dropouts are surely baby boomers ready to retire, the over age 55 population is actually the only one showing an increase in labor force participation. So while Washington tells us everything is fine, with numbers like 10.2% and fewer teens and young to middle-aged adults in the labor force, it's no wonder Americans continue to worry about jobs and the economy.